brush over the bad area. Like this. Now there's another tool called the clone stamp, which we'll also need to use in a minute. But this healing brush is a fantastic invention. I don't know, whoever did that, I hope they got a raise at Adobe. So there we go. And I'll zoom in closer. I like to zoom in about 300%. That's what I recommend people. Zoom in with your zoom tool. That's, if you look in the navigator here, that's right here, it says 300%, and that's called the navigator palette. There's other ways to tell what percent you're in. Now the problem with the healing brush is sometimes it doesn't do so well on hard edges. So let's see if it handles this. It did it okay. It handled it okay. Sometimes it smudges it up. And you need to use what's called the clone stamp tool, which is down here. And sometimes when you're working on a hard edge, you'll use that. Because here, I'll do the healing brush real quick. Watch this. Right by this ear and this white spot. Kind of smudged it up. So I will undo. And neat thing in Photoshop, there's something called a history palette. And you can go back all the way to undo what you did. Like that. And so go to the clone stamp. And I'll do the option click, paint, option click, paint, you know, click, option click, click and drag, option click, click and drag. Okay, so we did all that. I know we're not done. You're like, hey, come on, man, what about the rest of it? Let's real quick just do a little bit of the face up here, the hairline. This is real rough. I'm not fully satisfied. But I want to stop and go on to the next spot. Okay. Now, let's assume we're done. Now we got to color correct. Every picture needs color correction. A great way to do that. Oh, by the way, let's look at why layers is neat. Another benefit of layers. I can turn off, over here in my layers palette, there's an eyeball. On the background copy, I click that, it turns that layer off so I can see the layer underneath it. So that shows before, after. Before, after. I can look at my progress. That's a nice, easy way to do that. Now let's go to something called image adjustments, levels. We'll go into each color in the levels box. These are the color channels. And we're talking about 3 channels. And I move the sliders to the edge of the mountain. I know you're thinking, okay, he must be messing up again. He's still on a roll from his screen problems. It's definitely too much right there. See? Blew that out. So we definitely have to go right about here, here, and here. Hit OK. See, much better contrast. And the same thing with regular color photos. You'll watch with regular color photos how it just takes care of that. Now, we've got a short amount of time, and I want to run to a document. I want to do a document, but I want to ask, was there any questions about what I just did? Yeah. So let's go to a document. I saw, yes, sir, with the second, I'm next to, yes. Passport? Passport. Yeah. Could you bring that and bring your paper up so I can make sure I mark this right. Now let's save this as in the same folder. We'll call it Photoshop format. And I'm going to put a dash at the end of that 2 and call it R1, revision 1 or version 1. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now give me your sheet 2, please. Give me that sheet you signed.
Sorry?
The little form.
Yeah, I got the form.
Thank you. You know, a lot of you filled out these forms and I pass it out, and it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sorry that we're just not going to get to you. So we have this photo. It's just, there's never enough time. But I always like to have more, and then sometimes people call me later and say, hey, you know that picture that I brought, did you scan it? I want you to fix it. And I say, oh, I don't have it. So, now what do? You have something like this. How do you get a big document like this scanned in? Somebody tell me. Or how do you get this into your computer, period? There's a lot of ways to go about doing it. Scan them what? Scan a margin?
No, we can scan it and merge it.
Scan it and merge it. So scan it in pieces and then merge it.
You overlap it.
You overlap and put them together. So let's do that. And I will close this. Get back to my scanner. Yes, when you have an oversized document, scan it in pieces and then put it together later. Now another way to do it, and I mentioned this in the handout, is to make a copy shot. Oops. And if you have a decent digital camera or a film camera with low speed film, you know, your digital camera should be at a low ASA, a low speed too. Let's see, we'll do this at 100%, 300. You know what, I'm going to cut this down to 50% just for time. Don't you do that at home. I just want to show you all this, demonstrate this real fast. So with a decent digital camera, and you can take a document or a painting or a picture. Sometimes you might be at a museum or something, or an archive, and they won't let you take it with you. So you set up a camera on a tripod, and you make a copy shot of it. And you can also do a copy shot of parts of it. It's real important, though, if you are going to make a copy shot of a person, you know, a portrait, that you do your overall, but you also zoom into the face. So you have a close-up of the face of the person. I'm talking about if you're doing a copy shot of a big picture, big portrait of someone. So do your overall shot and then do a real close one on the face. Because your overall shot, the detail won't be as sharp in the face. So then you can, in Photoshop, you can take the close-up face and put it on the overall shot, and then you have a sharp detail in the face. Now, we're done. There's this great function in Photoshop, and I believe it's in Elements, called Photo Merge. And it's a little plug-in, and you just choose. Did it finish? Oh my. Did I scan it?
I think you just previewed it.
I just previewed it. Yeah, thank you. I'm talking too much.
Don't do that at home.
Don't do that at home. Yeah, you should see it. I'm scanning and retouching. I'm scanning one and retouching another job, and then the phone rings and email, instant message. I'm gonna have to bring you wherever I go as my assistant. Yeah, I don't think I did this right. But we're so short on time. So this is a nice little plugin. I just selected the two images in Photo Merge, and Photoshop is thinking right now how to put these two pieces together. Some pictures could not be automatically aligned, probably because I didn't scan it right. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's do this.